As I've mentioned before, I read every single comment left on my videos, and I've noticed lots of people asking questions about the next Space Engineers update that we've already been told the answer to. To be fair to those people, it has been nearly 5 months of teasers to get to this point. So I thought today we would compile everything we know into one video and additionally include a couple new things that we've recently discovered. So we're going to split this into 4 parts, starting with PVE and Exploration, Prototech, new blocks, and a scenario, Asterisk. We'll explain the asterisk later. Let's begin. The next update is going to focus on PVE and Exploration, and it's going to achieve this using a new system called Global Encounters. The details of what we know about Global Encounters are sparse, but we do know that they will focus on a new faction called Factorum. We received a teaser trailer which goes over Factorum and their, shall we say, interesting ideas, and effectively they're looking to claim their place in the solar system, I guess? There's not really anything else for them to claim. And we know that Factorum are very militaristic, and they operate unimpeded by morality, consequences be damned, and they've pushed science beyond its limits to create something new, something unique, something we'll come back to later. Now we've seen at least 3 of these new global encounters. The first one is this planetary base here. It's red and in the desert, and it has some turrets on it, but there's not much more to go on for this encounter. However, the next one has a lot more going on. We can see it's an asteroid base, and behind the asteroid base there is a destroyed ship. It has a number of turrets defending it, and then during this teaser we see it get breached, the players go inside, and as they're going inside we can see that there is a drone here that must have been defending the base. And then inside we can see this, a mysterious new block. Well, not so mysterious if you've seen the other teasers, but we'll come back to that later. During this teaser, they extract the block from the base and take it back to their ship, and then upon putting it on their ship, they are attacked by 2 ships, one large, one small, and the large ship fires a railgun shot at them. We currently believe that this is either a 3rd encounter or part of the asteroid base encounter, that there is some sort of timer to break into the asteroid base, capture this block, and then take it back to your ship, otherwise there is a retaliation attack from Factorum. So you're probably wondering, sure, it's cool to have these encounters, but what is the point of doing them? What do you get other than fun? We all love a bit of fun, but it would be cool if there was also an incentive to do those encounters. Well, this block here is called a Prototech block. Now we'll go on to what this means later, but the main takeaway here is that these encounters have these new Prototech blocks in them, and also new Prototech components in them, and this is the only way to get them. So, the reward for engaging with these encounters is these new Prototech blocks. But what is Prototech? Prototech are powerful new endgame blocks coming for free in the next Space Engineers update. All the new Prototech blocks we've seen so far are new versions of base game blocks, and they are more powerful than their base counterparts, and additionally they have the same PCU as their base counterparts. The idea being that they use less performance cost, which is what PCU stands for, and thus you can do what you've always wanted and build bigger without horribly lagging your game. To a degree, there's always going to be an upper limit. And speaking of upper limits, this is usually the part of the video where I ask you to perform a very specific action. However, I am this close to 50,000 subscribers. This close, guys. Less than 100 to go. For 25k, I destroyed an entire planet. Twice. So please, help me reach this goal by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. And maybe you'll get something you've been asking for in exchange real soon. As I said in the previous section, Prototech components are only available through encounters, and additionally you can get full Prototech blocks from these encounters as well. Prototech blocks can only be built using Prototech components, and we've seen several of these components so far. Now it's worth noting that if you grind down a Prototech block, you do not get the components back. On this screenshot here, you can see that there are components highlighted in red, and that means when this block is ground down, you don't get those components back. This is a base game thing. If you go up to a battery and do the same thing, you don't get the components for batteries back, so it's highlighted in red as well on here. The Prototech components we know so far are the Prototech cooling unit, the Prototech machinery, the Prototech panel, which interestingly looks like you do get back according to this screenshot, and the Prototech frame. And additionally, we've seen 2 more Prototech components that we don't know the name of, but we can presume that this one is some sort of battery component and this one some sort of circuitry. With these components, you can build the new Prototech blocks. As I said, you can get these blocks from encounters as well, but if they get damaged or even destroyed, you'll need these Prototech components to repair them as well. The Prototech blocks we know are the Prototech assembler, which can craft all of the Prototech components, bar the Prototech frame. So presumably this will be the first one you want to get, as you'll use this to build the Prototech components for the rest of your blocks. But you'll still need to do the global encounters to get the frames in order to build the blocks from scratch. There's also the Prototech large ion thruster, This is the only Prototech block that we're aware of that we haven't actually seen fully in game yet, so we only have this piece of concept art to go by. But we have seen partial bits of Prototech blocks, so it's possible that these are the size of the thruster. We'll have to wait and see. However, a Prototech block we have seen fully, and already in this video, is the Prototech refinery, which you can see here. We haven't heard anything about there being new ores in this update, so presumably this will just be a faster refinery to reduce the number of refineries on your ships. And finally, the last Prototech block that we're aware of is the Prototech jump drive. You can see it jumping here, and it has a completely different animation here that looks 100 times better than the base game one. I just can't get over how good this looks. It looks amazing. One of the most important things to note about this jump drive is that this ship is small grid, and you can't jump small grid ships. Until now, the Prototech jump drive is for both small and large grids. As I said previously, we've seen the back and the sides of some blocks here, so potentially these are new Prototech blocks as well. We'll have to wait and see. But Prototech blocks are not the only blocks we're getting in this update. We've seen at least 2 or 3 new truss blocks coming in the update. You can see one here on the planetary encounter that we saw. It looks like some sort of spotlight attached to a truss. There's also this one here, which a million people are telling me is this one at a different angle. I'm not convinced, but we'll know when the update comes out. And there's also this one here, which is a slightly smaller version of the current L-shaped truss block we have. We actually found the map that is used in this teaser, and you can see that the truss blocks that were in the map were replaced with these slightly smaller L-shaped truss blocks. This also made it really easy to find where new blocks were as well. Shout out to the guy in my Discord who found this map. What an incredible find. It was so useful for comparing against the teaser to see where all the new blocks have been placed. And speaking of things found by people in my Discord, another person in my Discord watched over some of the old teasers again and spotted something that everyone missed the first time we watched the teaser. And that's this here. This appears to be a new piston. It's a completely different shape to the piston we currently have in the game. You can tell by the piston head, where it's more square, where the current piston has more rounded edges. It'll be interesting to see if it's just a cosmetic variant of a piston, or maybe a slightly longer piston. I'm sure it'll just be the cosmetic one, but we'll see when the update comes out. In the same teaser that this piston appears on, we also can see this in the background. This is a new door block that is 2 blocks wide, and looks to be a sort of cross between the sliding door and the gate from the Frostbite DLC. On a live stream, we were shown a teaser for this block here, which is called the inset connector, and as I said when we first saw this, oh my god, we needed this so bad. It's a full block connector, as opposed to the current connector, which just sticks out horribly or has a gap around the edge of it. Whilst everyone is looking forward to this, I know there's a bit of concern of where the connectors are on this. It appears, because there's an oxygen tank behind it, that there might be a connector on the side, but we can see this side of the block, and there's no connector there. I'm hoping it has connectors on all sides, and this is just an error or something, but we'll see when the update comes out. This sound here appears to be a new alert sound, assuming this is in the game and not just part of the teaser. Normally they're quite good at using in-game assets inside the teaser, so I'm pretty sure this is a new alarm sound. And, as you can hear the alarm sounding, you can see this over here. This appears to be some sort of new cargo container. Some people have tried to convince me that this is made out of blocks and is not a new cargo container. And to those people, I say, how do you make this out of blocks? Speaking of things I'm 100% accurate about, this, right over here, this tiny little mess of pixels, is a new Gatling turret. Not a railgun, not autocannon, it's a new Gatling turret. I'm sticking to this, I'm 100% correct. It looks like a Gatling gun. I'm 90% sure it has the Warfare 2 variant of the Gatling gun as the barrel. That's why it looks slightly squared off, but 100% it's a Gatling gun. Anyway, let's go over the last of our 4 things at the beginning of the video. So, scenario Asterisk. To explain this, we first need to take a look at 2 teasers. The first teaser is a dark cave, and if we brighten it up, you can see that there are these glowing green mushrooms dotted around the image. In the video where we first looked at this, I went over several instances of similar types of life forms that appeared in Space Engineers, and I came to the conclusion that this was likely an image of a new scenario coming alongside the next update. After this, we received this teaser, which starts with a station corridor and then an interior of an out-of-control ship, another shot of a station with weapons being fired in the background, and then this ominous-looking shot of a base. And the final shot shows the inside of an asteroid base. Because these looked kind of set PC, and because of this dead engineer here, I assumed that these were also part of the scenario, but I think I'm wrong. In the first teaser for this update, we were shown this image of a datapad. The text on it, whilst we can probably decipher it entirely now due to knowing a lot more about this update, is completely irrelevant to what I'm about to say. All we need to know is that this datapad appears to direct us to a global encounter, or potentially even is one. And on the right, we can see a dead engineer. Bum bum ba. When I was planning this video, I saw this and thought, oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. I had completely forgot about the dead engineer on the right of this teaser here, and pretty much my entire basis for this video showing us a part of a scenario is that it also has a dead engineer on it. So, if we go back to scenario asterisk, I think this is entirely wrong. I don't think there's a scenario coming. I think these are encounters. I think this entire video, and potentially the screenshot with the mushrooms, is also a global encounter. And if it is, this update is going to be crazy. I won't lie, my expectation for the encounters was low, because Space Engineers encounters are terrible. And no offense to modders, but a lot of modded encounters are also terrible. But as we know, this is pretty much 100% an encounter, and our evidence for this being a scenario was flimsy at best, then potentially all of these, this huge space station, this spinning ship, the ominous base, this asteroid base, these are all global encounters. And if they are, this update is going to be insane. So, do you think that these two teasers are a new scenario or they're new encounters? Let me know with a comment below, and let me know, out of everything in this update, what you are most excited for. And additionally, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more Space Engineers content. A special thanks to Clone, Briar Rose, The Wildcat, Splurgeburger, Tarantula Fudge, Taurus 1834, Hamish Drowner, Penguin, The Whiskman, and Summit. If you want to support this channel, you can become a YouTube member with the links below or above the video.